All right, we're going to get started here. We have already established a quorum, so welcome to the February R-VII Board of Education meeting. At this point, I need an approval of the open session agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? And now I need a motion for approval of the consent agenda items.
So moved.
All in favor? Motion carried. Communication.
Cole, at this time we have no communication.
Okay. Next item is making a difference.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to get the placard there and recognize Morgan Schauber. Ms. Schauberg is the middle school process coordinator. She's been chosen as the February Making a Difference Award winner for the district. Her peers had the following comments to say about how she makes a difference. She's excelled in her new role as process coordinator by supporting the building special education staff, managing outside place students, and taking on a lead role with the Odessa Special Olympics track meet. Her knowledge and leadership has been vital for the new staff as well as veteran staff, and she's always smiling and always appears happy. And so, Ms. Schauber, thank you very much for making a difference.
And the old guy next to you, community champion.
Yeah, so our community champion for the month is Mr. Rob Weibel. Has been chosen as a community champion for the district for this month. Coach Weibel is a lifelong educator and has been a supporter of the Odessa School District, and its students since the 1980s. Has served as a district teacher, coach, and administrator for many years. In his retirement, he has always said yes to come back and work with the students, sit on committees, and provide positive input. So on behalf of the district, Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you very much.
Next item is academic focus. Okay, Mr. McGee.
Guys, this group is filling in. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to allow us to highlight one of our great groups, after-school clubs that we have up and rolling at OUE. Our media club is a pretty good example of when you have some passionate adults about a topic, providing the structure, but then allowing kids to have a lot of creativity and show a lot of initiative and turning it into a product that comes out weekly. I've seen a lot of different media clubs from middle school, elementary, and high school. The product that we put out week to week, the quality of the things that the kids do with the teachers involved is as good as any that I've ever seen. The kids are excited about it, and it's just fun to see how they set a positive tone for the building, and just bringing that delight to the end of the week. So I'm going to turn it over to them. They're going to introduce themselves. And then we've got some stuff to highlight on a video as well.
Hi, my name is Bennett Burke, and my favorite part of the Bulldog broadcast is probably actually the actual broadcasting.
Hi, my name is Ian, and my favorite part of the broadcast was editing it.
Hi, my name is Layla, and my favorite part of the Bulldog broadcast is meeting all my friends and actually being a part of the Bulldog broadcast.
Hi, my name is Finley, and my favorite part is interviewing the teachers and staff of the building.
Hi, my name is McCready Mage, and my favorite part is hanging out with the people and learning more about them.
Hi, my name is Jenna, and my favorite thing was being camera person.
Hi, my name is Paisley. My favorite thing was being editor.
So we want to acknowledge and thank the Foundation Grant and our PTO for providing the funds available to purchase the multiple iPads that we need to create our broadcast, the tripods, microphones, and all of that. We keep expanding, and we just keep getting better and better, so we've got a great bunch here.
And this has really brought out their personalities. When they first come in, they're pretty shy, but then they get more comfortable and their personalities really start to show throughout the broadcast. And therefore that means we can be the backseat people.
How many days a week do you guys meet?
We actually have a short little video, kind of behind the scenes and what it takes for us to do the broadcast. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick, and then if you have any questions after that, we can answer that.
What is Media Club and how does it work?
Media Club is a group of 10 students who plan, produce, film, and edit the Bulldog broadcast.
We meet up 3 times a week. Our first meeting is Tuesday mornings at 6:45, where we plan our weekly broadcast.
We decide who's doing what jobs, write scripts, and get ready to film.
On Wednesdays, we are here until 5 o'clock filming this week's Bulldog broadcast.
There are 2 broadcasters that deliver the news, and then we have features that include interviews and students telling jokes.
2 editors come in on Thursdays at 6:45 in the morning to finish editing the week's episode.
We used a magic movie on the iPad to make our episodes. This semester, we experimented with using a green screen.
We first filmed using the green background and then added a background in when we were editing.
Finally, our episode goes out on Friday mornings.
Thank you for supporting Media Club.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching the Bulldog broadcast.
I have a question. Who choreographed the Halloween dance that you guys did?
A Just Dance movie.
Oh, okay. So it was from a movie. It was pretty good. Did you guys see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or I do, I'm sure it's all shared with the board, but yeah, we get to see your guys' broadcast every time you do it, and I gotta say my favorite is the jokes. I'm a joke guy. The jokes are my favorite part, but you all do a great job. You guys are like celebrities, so it's awesome.
And are you guys, is it just a a semester and then a new group is coming in, right?
Yes.
So this is our first semester group. Our second semester group, they've only had one Bulldog broadcast under their belt.
Yeah.
So with all the snow days, it's kind of messed with them, but they're getting there. They're getting there.
Are you guys sad that your semester is over?
Yeah.
They didn't want to leave.
I bet.
Yeah.
I'm also sad because robotics is over.
No. Yeah, what are you gonna do now? So, did you guys have more people apply for second semester, or did you have to cut anybody, or how did that process look like?
Yes, we did have to. They have to do an application process, and we look at those applications, and then we go from there. So 10's about the perfect number for the jobs and stuff that we have for them to do.
And we also get teacher recommendations as well. So when they do fill out the application, it's with 2 recommendations from teachers.
Setting you guys up for scholarship applications already.
Dr. O, I'm sure if they need to make an announcement about tomorrow, they'll be willing to do it. I don't know if Dr. Fagan's daughters would like that.
Was there any snow out there?
So do you guys think that maybe broadcasting might be something in the future you might like to do as a job? Yeah. Who was the most shy at the very beginning?
Yeah, probably
You were?
Layla or Paisley.
Yeah. Who's the most not shy?
Bennett.
I don't know, Jenna was not shy.
He's like,
Learning how to talk to people is a very valuable skill, so this is a perfect conduit to be able to do that. So good job on you guys.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yes, See you guys, thank you all.
Yep, you guys. Very much.
See ya.
I know.
Pretty cool.
Everybody loves you.
All right, next up on the agenda is our finance report. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
The Finance Department is starting to develop the 25-26 budget by estimating revenues and identifying the current and new expenditures. We are working with the building administrators to identify any necessary end of the school year expenditures. This planning will allow us to have a good understanding of any necessary transfers and budget adjustments that might be needed by June 30th. Legislative updates regarding finance. As of now, the state revenues are lower than budgeted. This could impact how much state funding the district receives this year. The current governor's budget for FY26 does not include an increase in state funding for school districts. And then Senate Bill 87 is a decrease in real property tax. Based on projections, the district could see a reduction in assessed valuation, which would lead to a reduction in revenue. The proposed House Bill 903 is a reduction in personal property tax. If approved by the legislation, this could result in additional reduction in revenue over the next 3 years as the legislation is phased in. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cap. Next item is the curriculum report.
Hello. Hi. So just a couple of updates in the curriculum, teaching and learning world. So last Monday, February 23rd, not February 23rd, I'm jumping ahead, last Monday, we had a PD day for our staff. So we had our cohort 1 and cohort 2 for letters. So these are majority of Macquarie and Upper teachers getting training in the science of reading. Our middle school, we had Project Atom training. So this is a program that a couple PD days ago was implemented in the high school. So we moved to the middle school. So it's a automated defibrillators in Adam's memory. So it's a program on how to respond to sudden cardiac arrest in children and adolescents. So the goal is to get all of our building staff trained in that. 6th through 12th grade science teachers met to work on their Stanford science module. So this is a training that the teachers are doing to learn about next generation science standards, aligning our curriculum, aligning our assessments to those standards. We also had vertical meetings with music teachers as well as STEM, computer, and librarian meetings. And then we ended the day with a meeting with our first year teachers, checking up on them, and then had a module on professionalism with them. So then in addition to these meetings, we had our middle school and our high school math and ELA teachers meet to learn and plan for curriculum pilots. So we have continued with our pilot for our elementary math programs. We are now adding a new math pilot in the middle school and expanded that into the high school as well. And also 6-12 ELA pilots. So they did a lot of hard work learning the pilot program, getting in, and then planning for upcoming units. So our day was full of a lot of curriculum and learning. Yesterday we had our building principals and our instructional coaches meet with our district continuous consultant rep from the RPDC. So we completed our first module of instructional leadership, and they will be back with us on March 10th to continue that module. And then next week we have our first CSIP meeting, so we will be, a team of all stakeholders will be meeting and reviewing our current CSIP with updates. Lots of
You
things.
said a new math pilot. We were on another one, weren't we?
So yes, so we started the year K-8 piloting iReady Math. So after we met with those groups, it was really working out in the elementary grades, but was not benefiting our middle school students. So we were able to evaluate, see that this product is not what we are needing right now. So we went back kind of to the drawing board, researched some different programs. So now we're implementing, it's called Reveal Math. So we've got middle school and high school using the same, piloting the same resource, just for that alignment.
Is that something you'll be able to have any information on by the end of the school year? or
That
do
is
you
the
know?
plan.
Okay.
Yes, to have something implemented.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes probably a while to test it before you find out if it really works for you or not. And you really,
That's kind of like, well, and it's like we started out the year and realized that secondary, really, what we started with wasn't working. So it gives us time to change directions and look at something else. So hopefully, we're putting something in place that is going to align with, from grade level to grade level as to what they have.
and the change is probably difficult because I know
Yes.
naturally humans don't like change.
Absolutely.
When they get it, they're like, oh, this is not good,
Yes.
it's garbage.
Well, I
That's why
have
you
to give
wanna
a shout
spend
out
some time
to
with
all
it.
of the teachers that they have been so extremely flexible, especially those middle school math teachers that started with something new. And now they're starting again with something new. But I mean, they're eager. They want to make this right. We want to make sure that we have the best curriculum for our students.
Yeah, well, we appreciate them spending the
Yes.
time to
Yes.
try to make
They've
it
been
work
great.
and yeah, put their best foot forward. So.
I have one question.
Yeah.
We had a training before you came in on the APR. Do we get CTE points?
Yes.
On our, okay, awesome. And then the only other thing that got me thinking was about the attendance score that we get and all of the sickness that has been running amok through the district. So how many days can a student miss throughout the year before it deems into us lessening?
I don't know if, I think it's done by hours. Am I correct on that?
It is.
Versus
It's by
days.
hours overall, but you're looking at basically 90% of 160, was 163
And it
student
drops.
days, 161 days.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, though, it drops off real quick. So
Yeah.
like,
It
I
does.
think it's from like
It does.
90 to 85.
Yeah, once you get below 90, it drops off very quick.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just said, my kid has been home
I
5
know.
days from the date
Right.
of January, so.
And other things that are out of our control.
I know, it's tough,
It is.
but there's no exception
There's-
for sickness or anything like that.
Right.
Right.
So if the kid is gone, even if it's an excused absence, it still plays a factor into
Yes.
our ratio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime the student's not in attendance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
They do it by hours, so a student can miss half a day and it doesn't penalize the district
whole.
for the whole day.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Did we get,
Thanks.
on the APR, you had mentioned getting some consult with some, how to make improvements?
Yes. So that's our DCI that we're meeting with.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yes. So we are on that train. We're going.
Anything else for Amanda?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. And next is our maintenance report.
So much less exciting than learning and curriculum, but as you know, it's been cold, so that's when the heat goes out. So Mike's been chasing a lot of HVAC issues. We've spent quite a bit of money on that, just aging equipment. They've been chasing roof leaks because snow melt, so that's been fun, but they've had some dry days to be able to do that, so have been able to do some of that. If you happen to drop off a student at Upper, you see what the winter weather has done to some of those holes, but once it dries out, those will be Band-Aided again. Of course, we're getting a permanent fix this summer, but Band-Aid some of that too. The sidewalk work, so Talon and Epic continue to work through that with Excel. They've been on site twice, looking over some things, and Dr. Oder was in touch with IDS, talked with them today actually about scheduling and when that whole group meeting we can come together and talk more about when's this going to be fixed. So it's in the works. We talked a little bit last month, the ag building, so that entrance storefront is ordered. Don't have a timeline yet on replacement, but Elliott Glass out of Grand Valley will be doing that. And then we had a student here at the high school inquire about, and he might be doing a couple of benches out by the walking track somewhere for an Eagle Scout project. So he's asked permission and we're just kind of waiting to hear back from him, so that'd be fun for him to do. So, what we got going on?
Have you, any word on those exterior lighting packs?
I don't know. Since he's sitting here, I'll look that way. I know they've a lot of been ordered.
We've got a lot out throughout the district, so that's on my list to get POs over to financing before the 21st, and we're gonna break them up per building.
Okay.
And that way we don't have a huge lighting order to pass through.
Perfect. So, good deal. Okay. Thank you.
Chad wants to do that push through before he's off.
Shine one right in his bedroom window.
Yes. Like 10,000.
I think the first focus on that, I know would be probably Macquarie, like the gym side on Macquarie, in front of Macquarie. That's probably, you know, the darkest area in the district that I've noticed right now. So
yeah,
that's probably going to be the first one that we address.
The south side of the middle school is pretty dark too.
Yeah.
But
Anything else on maintenance? We'll move on.
Kind of covered.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, your administrative packets are in your report, in your packet. Your administrative reports are in your packet for review. We just had a PD day. We do have another PD day coming up in March, where all staff will be served breakfast, and we will also present the Odessa School District Foundation will present their teacher grants at that breakfast as well. To date, before today, we've missed 6 school days. We could likely have more inclement weather, apparently, maybe tomorrow. As of right now, we are adding Monday the 19th and Tuesday the 20th to get the necessary hours in our calendar. So we have not put anything out officially, kind of waiting to see what the next few days bring and how, if that impacts changing those dates too. So we will have a agenda item next month. Hopefully by this time next month, we'll be past most of our weather, inclement weather, so we can have a discussion about what that looks like.
Did you see that Grand Valley is using President's Day to makeup? I think.
And we used a PD day last year, I think.
One, first
Yeah.
spring break, maybe. Yeah.
On a public, or on
But not a
a
holiday.
holiday. I
You can go anytime.
Okay.
It's what pushback you might receive.
I think a few years ago, the district did another holiday too, and there was some pushback on, I don't remember what day that was.
They said they did a parent survey, and that's what they elected for.
During that.
And I don't know.
It was President's Day makeup
Oh,
day.
in Green Valley they did,
Uh-huh.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what their ending date was. You know, with what they've missed, did it push it beyond the holiday? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But with the days they're making up, it keeps them ahead of Memorial Day. So
See, and our calendar was built that everything still ends before the end of Memorial Day. I think last year we used a day because of the Chiefs parade day, because that day you have to make up, it can't count into your inclement weather. So we missed the maximum last year, that's what it was. We missed the maximum, which put us backing up to the holiday, but we had that one day that we had to make up in addition to. So.
Not to worry about this year.
Right. Can't have it out anyway.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, that's all I got. Nothing else from the superintendent's report. We'll move on to discussion items, the first of which is the May ready.
Ms. Smith.
So our district participated in our middle of the year, stay over here, diagnostic. We had first grade through 8th grade take it before we left for Christmas break in December, and then kindergarten, 9th and 10th grade took it when we came back in January, since their windows were a little bit off in the fall too. So I'm gonna run through the growth reports. I've got our district overview first, and we'll go into buildings and then grade level specifics. So top right here is our district K-10. ELA. So that bottom bar is how our students performed as a district at the beginning of the year. And then the top is our most current middle of the year diagnostic. So ideally, we want to see our reds decrease, our yellows and our greens and the green stripes increase. So as a reminder, the red stripes are 3 or more grade levels below. The red, just solid, is 2 grade levels below. The yellow is 1 grade level. Early on grade level is the solid green, and then mid or above grade level is the green stripe. So as a district, we saw quite a bit of growth in ELA, and then as well as math. Our mid and above grade level, I think, is huge, from 4% of our students going up to 11. And then also we really decreased the red as well. So this is McQuarrie Elementary. Same data here, just in 2 different forms. Everyone kind of reads it differently, so I'll just stick to the bar graph up here. So kindergarten through 2nd grade ELA, we saw a huge growth of getting our kids into on grade level and above, whether that's early, middle, or above. That red really decreased from 13% to 4%. So as a building, that was a lot of growth in ELA. So then we break it down into the specific grade levels. So huge growth in kindergarten, as well as 3rd grade. We have almost got that red gone. So almost all of our 1st graders are on grade level, which is huge success. And then 2nd grade also, we had 29% at the beginning of the year, 2 or more grade levels below. Now we're down to 13, and that green is really growing.
And yellow's the 1 grade level?
Yes.
That's just by the end of the year?
Yes, by the end of the year, we want to see smaller amounts of yellow. So then math, K2 math, huge growth in green, and we really dwindled down our reds as well. And in kindergarten, huge growth in our greens. 1st grade, rocking it again. That red is almost gone. And then 2nd grade as well, we really diminished that, and then we grew our greens too. So we go to upper elementary, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade ELA. Lots of growth, especially we went from 17% to 10% in our 3 or more grade levels below. 3rd grade, lots and lots of growth in the greens, diminished the reds. 4th grade, we increased our greens. And then 5th grade, increased the greens, and then our red is really going down too. 18% to 6%, I think that's huge growth for the 3 or more grade levels. So then 3-5 math, again, lots of growth. I'm gonna keep saying that. They rocked it across the board. 3rd grade, huge gains in getting our kids on grade level, and that red is really dwindling down. 4th grade, same, we're growing those greens. Our reds are going down. 5th grade also.
Teachers should be very proud of themselves.
Yes, they should.
Good job.
Yes. So middle school ELA, 6-8. Went from 18 to 21% in our mid or above grade level. And then we decreased overall our below grade level. Still want to see a little bit more growth, but we're moving some kids. So broken down into grade levels, 6th grade, 7th and 8th. So again, we're seeing the growth. We'll keep pushing them for the end of the year. And then math, lots of growth here too in our greens. 6th grade saw huge growth in math. That red is really shrinking. And then 7th grade saw a lot more green, and 8th grade. So then ELA, English 1 and English 2 is who takes this assessment, so it's not necessarily just freshmen and sophomores, because you could have a junior in one of those courses too. So I just put it as those courses that take the diagnostic. So I was extremely happy about this too, because we're seeing the growth, and this being the first year that our high school students are taking it, we were kind of just excited to see what it would look like. So, and again, this one was done when we came back from school in January. It was towards the end of January. And then in math, Algebra 1, Algebra A and B, and then Geometry took this. So math saw some good growth.
So that was also some 8th graders too, because some 8th graders are in Algebra 1.
8th grade is just with 8th grade in this report.
Okay.
For the EOCs, those scores will be lumped together. Yes. Yeah, so overall saw a lot of good growth and kind of the mindset too of let's pilot in a ELA program for middle school and high school kind of came from these reports that we saw math was doing something because we're getting a pilot in front of them, giving our teachers something to teach with. So we wanted to be able to do the same for our English teachers.
So that those results kind of will, I guess, as you saw those upper grades, not as much improvement.
Yes. I mean, I think that shows the fruits of our labor too, though, that the last couple of years we've had an emphasis on our elementary grades reading. We're seeing that. We're seeing our gaps close, and so now we need to move up with that.
And the consistency and the resources we've provided, that
Yes.
the board has provided. You saw your best growth in the elementary where we've started to provide that consistent
Yes.
resource for all teachers.
Well, and this is going to carry all the way through. So, like in middle school, 8 years from now, these kids that are in kindergarten and first grade are going to be in seventh, eighth grade. So, I remember
They'll be
there
on
was-
grade level when they get there.
Yeah, exactly. You and I both were talking, I don't remember exactly how many meetings ago, but it was 6 months to maybe a year ago. There was other reports that we were looking at, and you had mentioned at the middle school, and I was concerned about it too, that it seemed like there was kind of a fall off. And I don't know if they just, at that age, they get to a point academically where it's hard to keep them focused on their academics or not. But do other school districts kind of see the same thing in terms of with their scores that we've met with I-READY, or have they not, do we not know?
I don't know. I can't speak for any other ones. I know that the instructional coaches, they've made some contacts in other districts, and they have seen that a little bit.
Yeah.
But for a lot of districts, it is a new program because it's recently been mandated to have some form of a diagnostic.
It's cool to see.
It's really,
Like you said, I mean, these teachers are doing something.
Yes.
So cheers to them.
Yeah.
They should pat themselves on the back for sure. We appreciate them.
Yeah, and I mean, the ultimate goal, we want to see our kids grow, and
yeah,
we're doing that.
Couldn't do it without them.
Thanks.
Next subject is the high school technology maintenance class.
Yeah, Ms. Bagshaw's here to talk about it.
So you've been given a little bit of information about it, haven't you? Okay, so I mean, I think this is a great idea. When Robbie said, hey, will you go speak on this? And this was right in my wheelhouse of what I did for 28 years. So, providing some hands-on experience and utilizing the kids and their interests of working on computers and fixing them. That's where you start at the basics when you're going out into the workforce in this area of interest. And so I think just let's use our kids to do that. And they're going to want to come to school. It's going to give them a purpose. And so providing that internship, or I don't know how you guys are framing it, but work-based learning opportunities, I think will just feed, and I think it'll be really good. They'll come in. I think Robbie said they'll have an hour, and they'll take up to 2 kids per hour, and they would basically be the repair of the computers. And as they went on, and if they want to do it, it's open to juniors and seniors. And if they want to do it again as their senior year, we could create some type of an advanced course of where they're working more internally on the software side of it. But just this experience, I think they'll either know that this is something they want to do, or they will be like, no way, this is not something I want to do. And so, and Logan, I know, and Rachel, they could really use the help in just the repair of Chromebooks. And those are things that kids can definitely do. They sit and do it all the time. And so providing that opportunity for the kids, I think it's just a plus. Just showing up and taking directions from Logan and Rachel, that's a workplace skill. Completing something, being professional, knowing if they have to go into a classroom, being professional, the communication, like you stated earlier, to the elementary kids. That's just very important to that post-secondary, workforce environment. Do you have anything, Logan, to add on that you and Robbie kind of talked about?
Not really, yeah, I just think it's a good opportunity. We've seen a lot of other districts that do it, and like she mentioned, a lot of kids come out of it and they know that's kind of the career, the IT stuff that they want to do, so it's cool to get some hands-on work. And she said we just get a lot of, the Chromebooks, that's going to be huge, just because right now there's only 2 of us in the department, and we could get 10 to 15 Chromebooks, every day from all the buildings that have to be repaired, and some have to be shipped off, and some we keep in-house, and so it'll be nice from that standpoint just to have some extra hands to do that, but then also to educate them and see, like I said, if that's something that they do want to do in the future.
Yeah, I just think that's a great opportunity for some kids.
So would there be like a cap on the number of students?
2 per hour would be.
In the class? Based on like the number of Chromebooks you see on average, or?
Well, I think the class is going to be offered, just depends on how many kids apply for it that want to do it. And he can't house any more than 2 for a class period, because they'll be sitting in that office. So you're looking, I don't foresee us getting 14 kids the first year. Now, after the first year goes, the kids start talking like they do, I think you're going to be like, that's cool, that's something I want to do. Because we have kids now, that's what they do when they go home. Besides watching their YouTube videos, they're tearing apart computers and putting them back together. And that's what they like to do. Let's give them an avenue.
And credit.
Yeah, and they'll get a credit for that, so.
This is something that will come back for board approval next month. So if you have additional questions or need additional information, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get those answers.
It makes me kind of think of, what other, pieces of our district can we tap into and plug the students into? Like if someone's into sports medicine, maybe shadowing the trainer, or I know that you have student assistants now that we didn't have when I was in high school, but maybe just kind of keeping the ball rolling.
This is exactly what I did at Shinny when I was there. We had culinary kids, and every day I would see openings come across Facebook or, through our district email about culinary help, kitchen help. And so I'm like, we have a great fax program in Chanute. And so I was like, let's get those kids that are on the senior level, and they had to go through an online training and buy the proper shoes, get certification, but we hired them to go to other buildings, and they worked in the kitchens to help prepare food in the morning, serve at lunch. And so those are some things where we started just doing it with our kids in-house. We had a lot of work-based learning that left 6th hour to go out and do real-world stuff, but right within the district, there's a lot of things you could do probably to spark their interest.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing if you come up with anything else.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Kids working as a junior too, right? Or maybe didn't for now.
I don't know that we have had since I've been here.
Maybe I was wrong. Probably mistaken.
Okay. I'll come back next meeting.
Yep.
Next one is the Stuff the Bus School Supply Drive.
Yeah, again, this year we're planning to hold the Stuff the Bus initiative. We've been able to put a lot of supplies in the students' hands as a result of this drive the last couple of years. In addition to supplies that were donated, we've received several financial donations that have continued to provide supplies that students might have needed throughout the school year for various programs. We'll accept donations from late May through the first part of August again this year.
Okay, action items. Fireflies, Supported Living and Employment Service.
Yeah, influence.
So we have a great opportunity to provide summer employment for our juniors and seniors who are currently on an IEP or a 504. They'll be working with Mike Morgan and his crew. We'll have a job coach that will assist with any issues that arise and help them acquire their new skills and new life lessons.
So basically, it'll be a group of students that come in. They will have their own job coach that's provided you know, by the company, and the job coach will report to me. I will give them tasks, tell them what building to report to. That group will go, I think, over the summer months, what they say it was, it's a 6-week paid program for them. So I think over the summer months, it would be a benefit for her students as well as a benefit for like our custodial staff. You know, there's a lot of busy work that the custodians do as far as moving furniture, wiping stuff down, you know, sanitizing things, wiping down glass, things like that these students could more than handle. And I think it would speed us along on the custodial side, allow my custodians to be able to focus more on their detail work, you know, working on their doing a better job on the floors, working on their door jambs when you walk into the room, you know, just the detail items. And I think overall it'll help my staff getting things done in a timely fashion and getting more detail done, as well as being a benefit for the students.
Firefly will pay for the coach and will also pay the students. And it'll be their insurance, not ours.
Yep, they provide liability insurance, correct. So what did they say, it was a 7-to-1 ratio?
Yes.
For a job coach?
At least 4 up to 7.
Okay.
So what's the cost to the district then?
Nothing.
So it's like grant funded or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We have to supply the coach, which they said could be a teacher, could be a para, just somebody that we trust. And then they will pay that coach. The coach will go through a training with them. They will pay that coach. And then they will also pay the children, the students.
And I have spoken to a maintenance director from another school district that they've been doing this program, and he says it's worked out good for them.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Thanks for finding it, and Mike, thanks for offering it to do that.
I think it'd be
Awesome.
great on both sides.
Another great hands-on learning experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
For the students.
I'll make a motion, we approve Firefly.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job selling it.
Tough sell.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Next is the July 2025 Board of Education meeting.
Yeah, we're requesting approval to move the July 2025 Board of Education meeting back 1 week to July 15th to allow the business office more time to close out the 2025 fiscal year. Board policy states regular board meetings are held on the second Tuesday. This request would move that to the third Tuesday.
No objections to that. I'll take a motion. A motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Library book challenge.
Dr. Figg.
So in your packet, you had some information. There was a request that a book be removed from the library. There's a committee process through our administrative manual that's laid out for us. So the information is in there, the summaries, the recommendation of the committee is to retain the book in the library. I'll be happy to answer any questions about it if you might have them.
Any questions for Roger? The book? This was a book that was not mandatory reading for any
Correct.
class, correct?
Right.
I make a motion to retain the book.
I second that.
Is there any objections? Can we get a count of all in favor? Carried. Thank you. The baseball and softball field improvements. Dr. Figg.
So you had a lot of information in your packet about this. The short of it, looking at the baseball and softball field turf project, in the information was a quote from Midwest Synthetic Turf Professionals through the co-op for the baseball field turf as well as the softball field turf, and then a bid from Mid-America Sports Construction to do the dirt work under the softball field because it's currently dirt. So that their portion would be to get the base ready for the turf, and then Mid-America would be to replace the turf on baseball and to add the turf onto softball as well. So again, be happy to answer any questions on that you might have.
So if we move forward with this, do we have something in place to lock those fields and then potentially anybody that wants to use them? I'm assuming we would give access pending they're willing to pay for that.
We've had, so currently our facility use agreements or processes, we've been talking a lot about that. Partially, yes, because of it being brand new and the wear and tear, and it definitely reduces the life of it.
Yeah, even if it's 5 or 6 years old, we don't want.
Yep.
If it's somebody associated with the school, obviously they should be able to use it.
Right.
But if it's a group, then
Right.
no.
So that's not fully in place yet, but we've been talking about that, about changing what we do currently.
That way, in hopes that we'll get a longer life out of it, lifespan.
Right.
Or potentially, if we do have someone that's wearing it down, that's not a part of, our school district, then they're compensating us for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess my question with that though is like, I mean, like with the football, soccer field, it's kind of open to, if I want to take a couple kids over there and kind of just run through a couple drills or something like that. Right now it's open, but what we're saying is, or what I think I'm getting from you is, if a team decides on a Saturday, hey, let's get together and do a practice, we're talking an entire team versus just
That's what I'm
a few
saying.
people.
Right. If you go out with your kid to the football field to kick soccer balls, it's not probably a huge deal, but if there's a team of soccer players that are going out there 3 times a week on the football field, then they're putting a lot of wear and tear on the field. That's
right. I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to lock it down where it's like, okay, nobody can use it, because I mean the whole idea is we want it to be, like used by the community. You know what I mean? That was kind of the whole idea with the turf on the football field, is that, and the track, is we want the community to be able to enjoy it. But I get what you're saying.
at a cost of not.
We don't want to
Make them
abuse
aware
it.
that it's a privilege. These are what we expect. These are the shoes, these are the cleats you can wear on it, and then it's a privilege. And then if you find that you're not abiding by that, then we can.
But if there's
pull it back.
but if there's a soccer team that is a travel soccer team and people are paying to be on this soccer team, and you got a soccer team out on a football field 3 nights a week, that's not really part of the school, then obviously they should be probably renting that from the school.
Yeah.
And Ms. Bagshaw's done a lot of research of what other schools do too.
Oh, okay.
And we just, like I said, we just haven't sat down to put together, okay, what do we?
We're kind of waiting to see where this goes and how we're doing that, I have them, like right now, I'm having them supply any rosters to find out how many community kids are on that roster. So we're not getting 150 from Green Valley and Blue Springs.
Right.
That was exaggeration, let's say 75.
And I think too, I can speak for everyone on the board. I mean, I'm saying these things, it's not like malicious. I mean, we want to take care of the facilities that we have for our kids. That, and ultimately that's where all this comes from, is we want to make sure that it's lasting as long as it can. And if there are kids that aren't our kids that are out there, they should be paying for it, because we're gonna have to replace it sooner rather than later. So, and I think that's a fair.
How have we treated the baseball complex? How have we treated the baseball? Because I know we've got, was it 693 or whatever, that 643 that that uses it.
They have not. I know they have not paid. They did not pay, and they used it many hours last year.
Yeah.
And so that's where being the first year of the summer of like, that we've got to do something different. I did have it locked, and so I kind of knew who was accessing there. I'd like to be able to maybe have a better camera that we could really see. So if there is some damage, we can kind of go back there, just to be able to fix that. But there is locks, and I have an access code that I give them, so I know what team is in there. But I mean, most of the time that field is locked up. All the gates to get in are, are locked up. So usually we know, but that's what I've requested this year. We have a team already wanting to start using it. But he's from Odessa and he's giving me a roster. And so I still think if they're going to be, like right now, they're going to be using lights. I think there needs to be a fee for that if their lights are going to be used, even if they are, I mean, and maybe not if they're community members, but I think that's something we need to think about because there will be,
Well, I think, if it's a scheduled practice where they meet 2 or 3 times a week or maybe every just once a week, or something like that, then Adam's right. I mean, it is more wear and tear and it's more traffic. So maybe there's a rental fee at that point, but I didn't know if it was locked up or
it
not
is locked up,
in general.
unless the last person when they left did not. I don't go up there every day now to check that out, but I do think probably the wear and tear where it was last time was just, I don't know there was much from our teams, or maybe they just, we didn't maintain it well enough. I don't know. I mean, but it's 15, did we decide today 15 years old, so. 7, did you say 17?
Maybe 16. 17.
Okay, so, I mean.
I think everybody here is right, but we put that field out there for kids. I don't know if I'd label it Odessa kids. It's for kids. And 15 years old, I mean, we're gonna have maintenance on this damn field.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're crossing a line. I think we need to be really careful. Because I think we do a really good job of working with our kids. And my kids went through it, but wrestling, Little League football, I mean, do we charge them? Are we charging anything for any of our facilities, for our lights? For
Little League football's not really on the turf, but yeah. They are on the
they
practice
are on
field.
the turf. I've watched them play out there.
Well, on Saturdays. Yeah, you are correct, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they do tear up the
And
grass.
I'm not against that. I am for all
But they
that.
also contribute.
But I said, we gotta be careful here if we're gonna start locking a gate on one of our fields and opening the rest of our complex up for other reasons. I think they're out there
I think
for
the
the
majority of
kids.
this is locked up, except for if kids want, I guess that one gate by the restroom, because we don't wanna remove access for people that wanna walk in our community on the
agree,
track.
yeah. That's what makes it.
I do agree that it's a fine line.
It is, it's a fine line, because, even Little League football, it's not Odessa playing Odessa.
Yeah,
It's
there's other-
Odessa playing other schools. And I've even seen other schools play each other.
And
I
not
play
even be
Odessa.
and not even be an Odessa
Yeah.
team, yeah. That
So
happens.
I'm saying, and I'm all for that, because that's what that field's out there for. And I think you're right, and when I say it's a fine line, we don't want it tore up. So anybody that's misusing our field, I'm sorry, you can't use it again. But I think they're there for our kids.
Yeah. Odessa Little League football does pay to the school a little bit every year.
I
think
get
a couple
it.
thousand or so. But
No, I get it. It was just a statement. I'm for them using that.
I think if we do get a document created, it definitely needs to come before you guys to have you look at that and determine if
But
that's.
if he just wants to make sure that we're managing the situation, that way we're not like
That's
ousting
right.
someone and they
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
they're like, put out or whatever.
I guess what I'm
Not
trying to
important.
say, if we have somebody coming to us with kids that need a practice field, if it's not being used, why aren't we letting them use it? If they're not tearing it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm going with this.
Like
And
Parks
maybe-
and Rec uses our fields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No need.
And even if it's like with turf, like, you could say, hey, you can
Right.
use the grass or whatever.
Well, I know I've seen, everybody uses the high school football field, and I've seen people with their kids out there hitting ground balls to them on the turf, and that's what it's there for. It's there to enjoy it, so I'm with Brian. I think it needs to be used. It needs to be open for people to use, but, like I said, if it's a team wanting to come and every week and have I think there should be something.
Yeah. There was a
that.
time that we had a small college coming down there playing baseball.
Oh, dear.
At one time, I can't remember who it was. Like a
That's
junior
baseball.
college or something was coming down there holding some games. They didn't have a lot, but they had some games down here. It has been a few years ago, but it's things like that I can see where you lock the gates.
Well, and with turf, I mean, that changes the rules on cleats too. I mean, we want to make sure that people using it are not using metal cleats and, you know.
We created some signs to put up around there last year.
Yeah.
You know, and I totally agree. I mean, it's for kids.
Yeah.
You know, I just think if a team is if a team's paying a lot of money to be on that team, some of that money is for wherever
Right.
they have to rent to go.
Right.
And a lot of people won't search for those. They'll search for those free ones.
Right.
And so I think we need to kind of be aware of that too.
Right.
Well, I'm going to throw a wrench in this discussion because the community members that I've talked to are in support of natural grass, which is completely different than where we're at right now. But I took some notes. Less injuries on natural grass, no need to purchase 2 sets of cleats. I got sent an article about microplastics from turf and the amount of waste and costs associated with replacing it. And just that the current field isn't maintained, the current baseball field isn't maintained super well right now. So that's the.
How are we gonna maintain that?
Yeah. That's the feedback that I've gotten from community members, and I feel like I owe it to them
No,
to
no doubt.
communicate that. So.
I mean, I've talked to people and it's been the opposite. They like the turf. And then I guess the maintenance aspect to me is it's like what dirt we have on the softball. I think probably the parents are probably the ones maintaining it now.
They spend on some days, we have some dads up there. One day, a dad was up there for 7 hours getting it ready. I mean, it's just trying to get, the softball field's just in really bad shape. I mean, there's a lot of extra time. And the maintenance in the fall, they do not have time to keep up on mowing. And then my aides and I would go up and work on the fields during my hours here to mark it and to rake it. My aides did help me. Luckily, I always made sure I had softball players on there. We did spend some time up there.
So
I think that's my biggest thing with it, and it's nothing against Mike and your guys or
No,
you or your aides.
that's just not.
It just takes a lot of time and effort to get a
And there's a lot
dirt
to mow
field
here.
prepped.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I mean, I don't think that when it was originally put in that especially around home plate, was done probably right. You know, you got to use a lot of clay, a lot of, you know, it's not just put dirt down there and spread it out and it's done. There's a special way to do it, and the only way to have it playable or nice is to maintain it in that fashion and not just kind of push dirt around and put some water down and it's done. It's a lot of work and effort, and I think doing the turf field would help Mike and his guys focus on things that they probably need to be focusing on more than prepping the field. Yeah, a softball field for 6 hours. So,
Clay bricks.
yeah, so I mean, I understand, I could appreciate those people and their concerns, but from the first day that I got on this board, the superintendent said at that point that if we're gonna offer a activity, then we should be able to do it full scale. We should be able to support it and do it to maximum capacity, whatever it takes. And if we're providing a softball program, but we're giving them a shoddy field to play on, then, I mean, softball's just as important as football is. And softball's just as important as baseball is, or soccer. I mean, it needs to be, I think we need to, if we can do it, we need to give them a better facility. So that's just my 2 cents.
So the recommendation then, and I'm assuming Sherry's opinion is this recommendation, is to accept the base bid on the baseball, add the alternate for the softball, but then we had to do the bid for the dirt work for the softball before the turf can go on, right?
Yes.
So full replacement of the turf that's on the baseball field, and then we will be doing grading and turfing the softball field.
Roger, did you look at the batting cages? Or did Sherry?
No, I actually haven't yet, but I know I've talked with Midwest, and utilizing turf that comes up is no issue. We can leave whatever of that we need.
Okay.
To do it, yeah. Talking about take some of the turf we take off
Oh, yeah.
to redo the batting cages, because they're
Yeah.
in need. Yeah.
The change of cleats is gonna help that also.
Yeah,
You know,
having
a lot of the turf issues we were having, I think, were because of the cleats. We'd go out there and do a repair, and 2 weeks later, we'd have it peel up again because you're sliding in with steel cleats on the turf that's been patched. You know, so I think as far as the wear and tear, I think not using steel cleats would prolong the life of the turf a lot.
And we did, before every game, we did make sure that there were no metal cleats, and if they were, I would go to that side of the dugout and I would tell them that they could not. Well, they're in the outfield. I don't care. They're gonna.
And once you made that
Yeah,
change,
yeah.
we didn't have as many issues.
Yeah. Well, I just know, like, with the softball kids, girls, you know, they've got their metal cleats on for the game, but before the game, they're warming up in the batting cage and it's turf, and so they've got their metal cleats on the turf. and-
Concrete.
Yeah, and so it's,
like we're stepping
you
all
know,
over the
it was
place.
abused, I'll put it that way, so I think going to a turf softball field is going to remedy that problem with, you know, they'll have plastic cleats for the entire, you know, for practice or warm-ups and the game, so.
To Kelsey's point, a lot of others, are we the only school in the conference with turf?
With turf?
Yeah.
No. Holden has a brand new combo field. Clinton is going to a new field, both turf fields. I think it's going to be combo. Warrensburg has turf. Marshall's not in our league, but they have a combo turf infield, grass outfield. The others are full turf, like.
Outfield too?
Yes.
What about like Oak Grove?
Oak Grove is dirt. They play at the parks.
Oh.
They got the district contest last year because they had two fields side by side. If we would have had turf, we would have got that district, which would have been really cool since we played the district championship. So I think that will help us. And with our rainouts, the rescheduling, it would just.
So they got it because they had turf?
They got it because they had two fields side by side, where we don't have the two fields. We only have the one. And so if we would have had the one field turf, we could have like still played. The teams would have voted for it to be on a turf field. That was their preference. But nobody in the district competition had a turf field and wanted to host. I wanted to host for a girl, so. But they had the two fields, and that helped speed that up, and so they got it. So
So if this passes, when would this start?
The dirt work would start
As soon as
early
they
in
can
March.
get it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they could get in there.
Okay.
To get it done. It's about the dirt work would be about 3 to 4 weeks, and then about the same to play the turf.
So with baseball, so are you saying they would start on the baseball field in preparation for the baseball season?
No,
or-
we would do baseball after the season.
Okay,
Yeah,
softball.
but they would
Start on the softball
Yeah.
side. Well, I make the recommendation, or motion for the recommendation presented.
Motion, do I have a second?
So moved.
All in favor? Next item is the 2025 summer school program.
Mr. Armstrong.
You see in your packet the recommendation of just kind of what there is kind of our traditional summer school programming. Looking at currently May 28th as a start date. That'd be the Wednesday after Memorial Day. That's kind of been our traditional start date. Going for the 20 days of instruction, which gets us our 60 hours that we need. Ending on June 25th. Still offering kind of the core class graduate required classes that here at the high school, offering K-5 programming, and then continuing to offer the 6th grade academy over at the middle school for that 2-week session that we've done in the past. And at this, the biggest change, can go ahead and talk about that. Right now, we're still looking at transportation. Transportation had been offered. We didn't have very many students take advantage of it. So
we had 5 routes and about 20 kids.
So that's one thing we're taking a look at. It's not off the table, but it's not something that we're thinking that may be what we offer this go round.
And the kids were probably geographically all over, weren't they?
Yeah, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a normal route like the school year. You know, we had just designated stops throughout, which I know makes it challenging for families to get them there, but we just couldn't run everything. But yeah.
So but it wasn't taken advantage of really. I know there was one time, one day where we were putting one girl on a bus that we were running, and we did that for a handful of days before we put some together, you know. So, but looking to get March 13th, you can kind of, if you go down through the bullet, launch will be offered for the high school students to continue their virtual course loads if they want to. That's become a more attractive summer option for a lot of our students. Each year we've kind of gotten about 20 more than the previous year. That's kind of been the trend at the high school, while the NC has kind of stopped, I mean, not stopped, but dwindled just a little bit. But they have a lot of flexibility if they do the online launch course. So we do offer that for the high school students. Still looking at being able to provide free breakfast and lunch for students. There's opportunity for an application. I know Dr. Fagan said, I think it opens March 1st for him to apply to be able to offer free lunch and free breakfast to students again. And registration dates will start, high school will start at the parent-teacher conference here on March 13th. It'll be open for them. We have kindergarten information night on Tuesday or Thursday, March 6th. And so when we have kindergarten screenings on March 3rd, the week of March 31st, we'll open up the application, summer school applications to K through 6 at that time. So.
Have students from other districts always been able to attend at no cost?
Yeah. So if somebody comes and stays the summer with grandma and grandpa, they can just come and be a part of our program. So, yeah.
Do we allow our homeschool kids credit? Is this part of, like, they got to do 2 classes each semester or whatever? Do we allow this as part of that credit? So if they did 2 classes in summer school, they could not go to 2 classes in the spring, in the first semester or the second semester? Or is that not a thing?
I think we still require them to do 2 classes during the regular
So
school
summer
during
school
their
doesn't
season.
count then? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know. I was just curious.
That's what we're proposing.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That I need a motion for the recommendation to approve the summer school offering, May 28th through June 25th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? This next one, Dr. Evinger, I think this one was on the consent agenda.
Yeah, in our packet, it's,
The contract was?
yeah,
Okay.
we've really already approved it, but
Okay. Well, still good to point out that, and I'll let Logan talk more on this, but making a switch in our internet provider from CenturyLink to Socket, actually it's going to increase our speed, but be a little bit less. So, 3-year contract that is eligible for E-rates, so we'll get partial reimbursement for this expense as well.
I know this is like a 40% discount or something.
More for less. That's a good thing. And get that off. Okay. we've already approved that guy, and I think that is it, unless we have anything else. Oop. Okay. With that, I need a motion to conduct a closed executive session, including any record or vote, the next scheduled meeting, pursuant to statutes contained in Chapter 610.021 RSMO.
So moved.
All in favor? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye, and now I need a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
All in favor?